Hello, I am Senator Amy Klobuchar. How is everybody doing? Hello.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You are not. I am.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm welcome everybody. I'm here with the real Senator Amy Klobuchar. I had some remarks about the voting process in Minnesota. If you don't mind, I would like to say some of the new rules that just came in on voting in Minnesota. Is that okay with everyone?
But first, I want you guys to all remember, I mean, look at that. Rachel actually got the same outfit I was wearing, so we would look similar after her portrayal of me on Saturday Night Live with my runaway bangs, right?
Right,
but
right.
She appears to have gotten a wig for this occasion.
I did. I borrowed it from SNL. So, yeah. So I could look exactly like you. Unfortunately, my screen went blank right in my big entrance. So, you know, that's live TV and live video. Anyway.
Halloween costumes on our viewers here. I'm looking at the screens.
Oh, I got to check this out.
Yeah. Janice has a witch hat on.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Very nice. Oh, yeah. My old presidential campaign T-shirt, Kim. Thank you. Anyway, but you were going to talk, Rachel. You were going to.
Oh, I was just going to say the new Minnesota voting rules have just come in. And as you know, they're coming in fast and hard. And we really have to deal with a lot of new rules here. So, for example, ballots must be shredded and then reassembled by voters in the voting booth within a minute's time. Please hurry because there will be a line. This also just in any stamps, the only ballots accepted will be those with the autumn harvest stamp. Any stamps with Bugs Bunny or Peanuts will be deemed communist and considered null and void. Also, let's see. Oh, any mail-in ballots received after November 3rd will be sent to Russia for verification. So these are just a few of the rules we're dealing with.
This is what we mean by misinformation.
It is misinformation, but they are changing the rules on a daily basis, it feels like. So I'm glad that you're on the case, Senator.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, Rachel, that has been surprising in Minnesota, and we're all dealing with, but we're stoic, right? So we can handle it, is that this court case suddenly came down just 2 days ago. And so now we're telling everyone that they can't put their ballots in the mail anymore. And we had like over 300,000 Minnesotans that still have these ballots that say they can be postmarked by election day. And we have to go out there in our witch costumes and the like and go, no.
Right.
So I think we're doing it. It's all over the media. And we're just telling people that they can deliver their ballot if they have one of those, if they're one of the 300,000 people, they can deliver them to a Dropbox, and they can find them at iwillvote.com. Okay. Or they can go in person and vote early and then or on election day. And actually, you know what state has the highest voter turnout almost every year, Rachel?
Is
They're
it Minnesota?
giving you a clue on the Zoom call here. Everyone's
Minnesota?
Yes, you got that right.
I thought, because I'm from Massachusetts, I figured they must be up there too. So, but Minnesota, okay.
I don't think they're quite in our league.
All right. I
know it is like every single time. So that's why we want to keep our title. I have a bet with Senators Bennett and Tester over like home brewed ale or something. And so I want to win. And so this court ruling kind of set me back a little.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Not to mention our whole democracy, but we'll leave that for. So anyway, we're all excited. You guys are phone banking, and it's so important right now. So thank you.
Yes, I want to put out my gratitude to all of you and to the senator. Everyone's trying to keep everything on the up and up here and get the vote out. So yes, I know I had a couple hard-hitting questions for you, Senator.
Like I'm doing Fox News Sunday tomorrow for the closing argument, Rachel.
Oh,
have you go on in my place?
I'd probably melt in a heap. That's why
I have to go to your Debbie Downer thing. Probably.
There's too many downers to even handle this year. But no, I had some hard-hitting questions. Well, first of all, I heard that you are able to name all the states in 30 seconds. The hard-hitting question.
I'm on. Okay, here we, oh, well, okay, here we try it. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Woo!
I think I got them all. I'm not sure. Oh, I like Florence. Is that your daughter there? She like that. 2 daughters.
Impressive.
Are those like, what are those, bunny ears, cat ears? What do you got going there? With the Joe Biden thing, I guess, I see. Anyway, yes, okay.
That's right, okay.
What is your best talent, Rachel? Do you have a
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember that.
Award-winning SNL.
Well, you know. No, my best talent, geez, I don't know. I remember a song, that state song. It used to be like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I remember it.
Anyways, I'm very impressed.
That's
Now, my second, this is a Minnesota question. Has there been a butterhead of you at the Minnesota State Fair?
Yeah, we call them butter carvings.
Butter carving, excuse me.
Yes, butter bus. You maybe didn't want to use that word.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, but it's butter bus, actually.
Yeah.
And so everyone on the call knows that it's Princess K of the Milky Way. I was actually in her court that gets to have their heads carved of butter. I was Miss Skyway News of March of, I think, 1985 or 86.
Wow.
And I just got 12 helium balloons, and that did not amount to the butter bus carving. But actually, there's a woman, and she's retiring this year, but she carved them in a revolving refrigerator door for decades at the State Fair. Now she has a mentee that she has sort of schooled.
Okay. Thank goodness.
But I once asked the princesses what they do with their butter bus when it's done. And maybe you guys on the call may not even know this. So they told me that they'll get to bring them home. And one of them kept them preserved in her mom's freezer. But after about a year, the features start to degrade. And then another one told me she brought it to her town cornfeed in Owatonna, and everyone just dug in to her butter bus.
Sounds pretty good.
Yes.
All right, well.
A little bit of trivia that I have.
Well, okay, now I have like a more real question here, and I'm wondering, like, I was like, what would I want to ask you? And I'm wondering how, when you're in, a hearing or important debate, how do you keep your cool? Because I feel like, when I start talking politics, which I try not to do, but when I do and I get all like, I'm just like, but you're wrong. Like, I don't know how to keep my cool and keep the facts all there. I mean, just how do you do that?
Well, it's gotten harder and harder recently. Well, one way I kept my cool, I was thinking of your portrayal of me with my bangs moving. That debate, by the way, was a good example. They had a cold air vent on my head. That's one idea. That actually on the break, Kamala and I sort of huddled together because it was so cold. And Rachel Maddow told me, she was one of the moderators. She told me after it was the coldest room she'd ever been in a studio in her life, that it was like a meat locker. And Shaston, Pete's husband, told me that his feet couldn't move, his toes, they were so cold in the front row. So that was the setting. So on the break, Kamala and I were huddled together, and some guy from NBC, who's just like the technician guy, walks over, and we both go, "It's freezing out there." And I said, "And it's really unfair to women, because women do worse when it's so cold." And then Kamala says, "Yeah, there's a study that just came out," and this guy's like, "Whoa, we only have a 3-minute break. There's a study that just came out that showed that women do worse on math tests when it's cold." And I said, "So this is really unfair. So you need to turn it up." And then he turned to us and he goes, "Yeah, oh, you, Amy, I'm sorry that air vent was right on you and I'm turning it off." And so that was my clue that that's what was making the bangs move, but I didn't know it myself. Okay, that's a really long story to explain.
That's all right.
By themselves. But anyway, so what else do I do? Well, I sometimes think about something else, especially if I'm giving a speech. And I think having a little emotion right now about how you're feeling isn't a bad thing, honestly, because you could just get all caught in facts and figures. And for me, like so many of you on this call, this is so personal, whether you are a kid and learning remotely, right? And learning to use a mute button at age 6 or something. I know you're older there, number 10, Joe, with your things on. Or whether you're a mom with your toddler on your knee and trying to balance the laptop right on the desk. Oh, there it goes. Or whether you got your parents or you are in an isolated situation like my dad, who got COVID at 92, and he's in assisted living, and he got through it. But it is so much is personal right now. So I always think that having a little emotion about how this president has mismanaged it isn't a bad thing. But so much of it, like when that court case came out, I was so mad. I was just, and then I decided no, because I was going on Cuomo, that campaign had me go on to explain it. And I decided I'm just going to be calm. I'm going to be calm because you want people not to listen to that you're mad, but they want to listen to the facts. So I just said, look, I said, this is bad and I'm mad. I said those words, but this is what we need to do. Because I just don't think we can waste our time yelling at people or anything. That's what Donald Trump has done for 4 years. And you may have people that you reach on the phone today that haven't decided, or that, who knows, maybe it's just get out the vote calling and then everyone's good. But you might reach people, or people that you should reach out to in your own circle or at work that maybe haven't decided yet, or they haven't voted yet, especially in our state, which tends to have a lot of independents, i.e. we elected Jesse Ventura, Rachel. So you call them and you just say, look, this is why, and you rationally explain. Do you want the guy in charge that couldn't even get the protective equipment out to the nurses and doctors? Do you want him being the one to try to get the vaccines out? I don't think so. Do you want the guy that couldn't even get testing out? Do you want him giving the vaccine out? I just think there's some really good rational arguments we can make about where we are right now that don't involve emotion as well as how you're feeling about it. So I just try to keep my eye on the prize as the end thing. And the prize right now is election night. And so that's why I calmly ran on Chris Cuomo in kind of an Obama fashion, very calmly, when I had like an alter ego. I don't know if you guys, this is my last part I'll give to this question. I was at the White House press corps dinner once, and Obama was speaking. I mean, it was the president's dinner thing, and he did this really funny routine where he spoke really calmly like he always did, and then he had the Obama alter ego next to him screaming what he really felt like. So you just kind of always figure that other person is next door. Right. I would like to know how you remain. How do you not laugh, Rachel, when you're on Saturday Night Live and you are reading really funny lines, or you're in a movie?
As some of you may have seen, sometimes I do laugh. So still mastering that. No, you try not to laugh because the audience, like they always love it when you crack up, but you try not to because it's kind of a cheap thing. But then sometimes, like the Debbie Downer sketch I did in Disney World, we just lost it. It was just like off the rails. And so sometimes it's kind of fun because it reminds everyone like, okay, this show really is live and, anything can happen. The other time, that was my biggest crack up. The other one I remember.
What was the Debbie? I love the Debbie Downer character, but what was the Disney World?
Disney World. Okay, so that was the first one we did. You can look up online or something. It's the very first one we did, and we just all lost it because I don't know, I flubbed a line or something, and then I knew the camera was coming in close each time, and so I just got off the rails, and then we all were laughing so hard. So that's the most
really happy Disney World scene or Disneyland scene, and you were there being the Debbie Downer.
Exactly, yeah. As a matter of fact, when we were writing, that was our first one we did. Paula Pell and I wrote that, and we realized we were trying to set it in an office, and it wasn't really working. We realized, oh wait, we need somewhere like really happy. So we thought of Disney World, and then that was the first one, and that was my biggest laughing fit. Yeah. So, by the way, I wanted to mention the thing you said when we did your hair blowing. I felt really bad about that. But the thing,
yes,
the reason we did the hair thing that I need to tell you is because, like, when I found out I was going to be playing you, right? They told me on a Thursday night, it was Saturday. So I'm looking at. I knew who you were.
I never thought I'd be in that long in the presidential. And they're like, oh my God, we need someone to play her. No, okay.
So I was very happy about that, but for many reasons. But so they told me, that I was going to play you, and I looked at video of you, and I was like, I was hoping for some really strong Minnesota accent or some,
Yes.
really thing gesture.
My camp.
Right. So then, you're a pretty regular gal, and you're in terms of like, giant, whatever gestures and stuff. So then, like, we're like, well, the hair was blowing, so that was a desperate measure for us as comedians.
Today it was so bad. It's so windy. I was in Minnesota, as you know, yesterday with Joe Biden, who was amazing. He did a great job. But today they had me come to Iowa to help Teresa Greenfield, who's in this really tight Senate race and has a chance of beating Joni Ernst, and also to help Joe Biden. And so it was so windy, Rachel, I had to wear bobby pins.
Oh boy!
So they would stay down. Yes.
Well, I'm just glad you're out there, and it's with all my anxiety about this whole, as we all have, I love knowing that you're out there and with everybody, with all the former candidates that are out there now fighting for Joe. It's just, it at least gives me some measure of relief. So
where do you live, Rachel? You live in?
I'm in Manhattan, in New York. I'm from Massachusetts. I see my mom joined on this call to watch me. But
where's your mom? Let me look.
Elaine is in there. But yeah, I'm from Massachusetts. And
I see you. Yeah. You're matching kind of our outfits.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm in New York. I live in New York, so that's where I am. Yep.
Oh, the sign just fell down because they're trying to make me leave.
All right. Well, I know you guys all have your calling to do, so.
Yeah. So what do you guys you call from home? They give you a list, or is it on the email? I guess you can't say. Is it by email? They're muted. So I'm going to ask them questions. Let's see. Is it like they send it by email and you call? It's a program. You log into a program. And about how many calls do you think you'll make today? How many? Oh, Lauren's family are going to make like 50. Okay, that's cool. Very good.
This morning statewide, we made about 32,000 calls.
Wow, that is amazing, Skylar. Thank you for that. Yeah. Rachel, we have, last time when Hillary ran, she won our state, but just barely. And she had the lowest percentage of any state that she won in, lowest margin. And so Trump personally said to me twice before I started running for president, "Oh, I have to go now." No, I'll tell you what he said. He personally said to me twice. He said, "If I would have gone back there, I would have won." Like that. So now he's come back, as everyone knows, like 10 times or something, and Pence keeps coming back. It's just like crazy. And then he made this big declaration, Rachel. He said when he was up, I think in Duluth, the COVID spreader situation, and he said, "If I don't win this state, I'm never coming back." And we're like, game on. So that's what's motivating a lot of, it's a motivation in addition to our Senate race. And then we've got a few close congressional races, particularly Colin Peterson in the 7th. And then we have a chance of winning one in the 1st. And we've got with Dan Feehan. And then we've got Tina, who's doing incredibly well, my colleague. And so we're excited about that, but hers isn't as close as some of these other ones. And then we've got our 2 suburban Democrats, suburban exurban Democrats there in Dean Phillips and Angie Craig. And I was just with Dean yesterday. So we're pretty excited, as well as Ilhan and Betty. So that's our situation. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll send you all on your way to go fight for democracy and get the votes out.
Yeah, we are very excited. We're so excited you joined us. We'll have to have you back, right, guys? We'll have you come back. Okay.
It was so nice to actually meet you.
We'll have your mom. We'll do something with your mom.
Yeah. All right. Well,
okay.
Good luck, everybody. Okay.
Thank you all so much.
Okay. Bye, Skylar.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay.